Okay, I hope this makes sense. And I don't really even know where to start this video, but I want to talk about Mary and devotion and kind of a new perspective on it, and particularly for single men. I hope will be really helpful. Kind of coming from a place of like, if you're a single dude watching this video right now, I know that you have probably desires for physical intimacy or physical touch in some way, and you probably can't meet those desires as a single dude. And I'm not even just talking about like sexual desires and biologically, yeah, that's true, but even little things like holding a girl's hand or having her head on your shoulder or being able to hold someone. Like I know you got that. Don't play with me like you don't want to hold a girl's hand or like hold someone. Like you got that. Hopefully, if you're a good dude, you probably got a little bit of that protectiveness in you to be able just like to hold someone, to care for a woman in that way. I am sure that you have some amount of physical touch, physical connection, desires that can't be fulfilled for you because you're a single dude. And I'm willing to bet that this is a lot of the root cause of why guys end up watching pornography or stuff like that, because it's a desire for physical intimacy that can't be met. So guys end up looking for it in like the most falsified way and the most illusion of a way, by like a totally fake through a screen fantasy of some kind of physical touch. It's like the worst way to do, but it's the way that I think a lot of guys fall into. A remedy for this, I want to propose that the Virgin Mary can come in and help us in a really incredible way in this way. Reading the book over like last summer, I read the book, and I think I've made a video about this, but the book The World's First Love by Fulton Sheen talks about that we all have an ideal in our minds, for us men, an ideal of a woman. There's no such thing as love at first sight, because we are always, when we experience like love at first sight, it is just coming face to face with something that fulfills the ideal, the blueprint that has always been in our mind. And what might that be? The ideal of a woman? Well, if God did create his own mother, then wouldn't she be like possibly the most beautiful, the most pure, the most good? We can maybe consider Mary as like the ideal woman. Mary is the blueprint in our mind. Mary is the ideal woman that we fall in love with anytime that we fall in love with a woman. So for us, Mary, I think, can fulfill something in a certain way. But I think when we often consider Mary, maybe just want to propose the question of like, how old is Mary when you think about her? Because I know that I often, probably for most people, we think of Mary as mother, which I think is accurate, because Jesus from the cross, he looks down at John and Mary and he says, "Woman, your son, your mother," and for us, for the rest of the church, for all eternity, we receive Jesus, his mother, as our own mother. So Mary is a blessed mother to us. But I think we can also approach Mary and just think about the fact that, when the angel Gabriel came to Mary, she was a beautiful young virgin. And Mary ages up until the place where she is motherly to us. But when Jesus is a young child, Mary at one point was this beautiful young virgin and like my age, and she was probably beautiful and wonderful and good and pure. So I've begun to do this every so often where I have this relationship with Mary as like the young virgin, the sweet young virgin Mary, who is like my age, and not like motherly to me in a way, but almost in a way like a partner to me, and like a beautiful woman who can be by my side with me, and in the need for any kind of like closeness or connectedness, can ask the sweet virgin to come and maybe pray in this way of like, Mary, would you hold my hand? Mary, would you put your head on my shoulder? Mary, would you rest your head on my chest? Would you let me hold you for a while? And I think And because we have, especially, because we have the church teaching in the Catholic Church of the Assumption of the Blessed Virgin Mary, that because she was without sin in her life, that she was assumed body and soul into heaven, she exists not only spiritually, but bodily in flesh in heaven right now. That Mary is very real to us, not only spiritually, but like incarnate, because she has this body in heaven. So we can ask Mary, in a way, to meet us at this desire for, like, tenderly, this desire for physical intimacy that may be unmet for us as single men. And certainly it is much harder to have disordered sexual fantasies or desires towards the Blessed Virgin Mary than it might be for, like, an over-sexualized media and culture and things like that. So I think we can ask the Blessed Mother to meet us in this way, in a way that is really pure and good and tender, and that might meet and satisfy in some way some of the desires that we have. So, like, the imagery of, I don't know if you got, my rosaries are over there, I'm not gonna go grab it, but, like, if you're holding your rosary, going for a walk, just like that's, going for a walk with Our Lady, holding her hand. Or if, like, you have the rosary in your pocket, you're holding it close to you, just like we're holding our sweet Virgin Lady in your arms. Just simple things like that. I think Mary can do that for us. So this is, I don't know if this makes sense, and maybe this just seems too, like, sappy or soft or whatever, but I know if you're a single dude, I know to some extent you have this unmet desire as well. So maybe just try it. I don't know. Maybe just try and call on Our Lady when you're in those moments where you just feel brimming up the ache or the desire for some kind of intimacy or some kind of physical connectedness. Just call on our sweet Lady. Just imagine this beautiful, extraordinary woman who is the ideal that you have in your mind, and just invite her in a, like, tender way. Say, Our Lady, would you let me hold you? Would you hold my hand? Would you put your head on my shoulder? Maybe try it. See what happens. Because Our Lady, I think, is here for us to make us well. She cares very deeply for us. And the more that we come to know and love Mary, the sweet and pure and most beautiful, this good woman, the better we can come to know and love in the purity and goodness and beauty of whatever woman that ends up being for you to love in your life.